if you're interested in buying a business as a first time business owner, buyer, purchaser, the SBA 7A program is worthwhile to look into.
Welcome to Honest E-Commerce, a podcast dedicated to cutting through the BS and finding actionable advice for online store owners. I'm your host, Chase Clymer, and I believe running a direct-to-consumer brand does not have to be complicated or a guessing game. On this podcast, we interview founders and experts who are putting in the work and creating real results. I also share my own insights from running our top Shopify consultancy, Electric Eye. We cut the fluff in favor of facts to help you grow your e-commerce business. Let's get on with the show. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Honest E-Commerce. Today, I'm welcoming to the show Jon-Mark Craddock, also known mostly as JM. He is an entrepreneur, a brand builder, and CEO of La Matera, where he's scaling a premium direct-to-consumer brand with a focus on craftsmanship and authenticity, leveraging his experience at high-growth companies like Chubbies, Marine Layer, and Tuckernuck. Welcome to the show, JM.
Thank you so much, man. Glad to be here.
I'm excited to chat. First and foremost, just take me back in time. Where did you start your career? How did you end up where you are now? Give me the Cliff Notes.
Yeah, it's funny. It's not the normal for sure. I'm originally from South Carolina, and I went to school at College of Charleston, and somehow I ended up on a list. My contact ended up on a list for the Chubbies guys back whenever they were starting the company in like 2011, 2012. And I know you've had like a few of those guys on this podcast. You're familiar with those.
It's the modern day PayPal mafia, the Chubbies mafia.
100%. So, but yeah, so early days, I was there. They were looking for college ambassadors and people out there to just kind of get the word out. There's no better way to get the word out of just giving free shorts away and then us having parties and stuff like that in like college. You know, it was great. Through that, started becoming friends with those guys. And then a couple months later, they're like, you know, we want to bring some folks out to be first ambassador or first intern. And I went out to San Francisco, never been really west of the Mississippi. I'm from a small town in South Carolina, and went out to San Francisco. It was supposed to just be for the summer, but that summer is when everything really went viral. And so like everything broke, and it was great. But I was running all of our customer service and everything. And towards the end of the summer, they just asked me to stay around. And looking back now, it's like 10 years was spent there at that company, just like doing crazy stuff. I actually never went back to college. Like I didn't finish college, don't have a degree, but it was like, I tell everybody that run was like worth, you know, so much more than any MBA that I could have ever paid for.
I hear often on the show, and maybe I'm just hearing myself say it out loud, but it's the best way to get an MBA is to start a business.
I could not agree more. I could not agree. I'm not one that's gonna like downplay college. Like college, the reason I got into the career that I'm in is because of college and the connections that I made. But yeah, you don't necessarily have to. If you have an opportunity like a Chubbies that, you know, rolls up, you don't necessarily have to go. Like, there's no right answer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I'm not downplaying college either. And I think college sets you up for success in the real world by teaching you soft skills that you can't get without being forced into situations you don't want to be in. Working with teams you don't want to do, doing projects with people you don't know. And then also the power of networking when you are at the right college.
Totally. So I definitely think like those early years at college, I like taught me to be like the opportunistic like person that I am, you know? And so it was great. So from Chubbies, obviously those Chubbies folks are some of my like long-term best friends. Like we just like, I lived in the same room as Tom in the early days. My like closest confidant to this day is Kyle and Dave. I think Kyle has been on this podcast before. But
Kyle is fantastic. Kyle
yeah.
Hensey, go check out his episode. I'd say it's probably like 6 or 7 before this.
Yeah.
What's so funny about all of you Chubbies dudes is it wasn't like I reached out to any of you at it's just such a happenstance that I somehow met all of you independently
in
this weird like short stretch of time.
It's so weird. Yeah, it's like like the Chubbies Mafia is like its actual thing, man. It's like it's so funny. You look back, like there has to be an abnormally high percentage of like former Chubbies folks that are like entrepreneurs, like are C-suite at companies. Like it's crazy. Like you look back and they're all over the place.
I mean, I think it would be hard for me to point a finger at another brand that just really showed the power of like direct consumer as the way you're building your business, the power of Shopify, the power of these new modern like ways to market. It'd be hard for me to kind of like point at one that had just like so many things going for it during that time other than Chubbies.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, we got really lucky whenever we were coming up. Like we had all those exact tailwinds. Like Shopify was just starting. We were like super early at Shopify. We like nobody knew what like Facebook advertising was back in like 2011, 2012. Like it was just like you could acquire customers for like 4 pennies or something. Like it was something crazy. So yeah, we just had a ton of tailwinds that just like, propelled us into the rocket ship that is today.
Yeah. And I think that's worth pointing out is there is a lot of luck in business, but don't let that deter you from trying to do something cool, because what happens is luck only comes out when you're taking swings. If you're not swinging, you can't have any luck.
Totally. There's that quote that's like, luck is like hard work in disguised or something like that. It's like, I totally agree.
Awesome. All right. So I've told this Chubbies story on this podcast, maybe 2 or 3 times from 2 or 3 different perspectives.
Yeah, it's probably boring now.
We're over that. Let's move on. So you left Chubbies. What happened next?
Yeah. I then went over to Marine Layer. They were out of San Francisco as well. I was building a lot of stores towards the end of Chubbies, so went over to help build stores for Marine Layer. I think we built like something like 9 or 10 stores in 11 months while I was there. Great group of folks. Great stepping stone for me. And then COVID hit, and obviously we weren't building stores anymore, so got laid off. Like a ton of people. And from there, I went on to help some other friends at this company called Tuckernuck, which is a ladies e-commerce company out of DC. During COVID, they were, I don't know, growing well over 100% like everybody else. It was just like a crazy, crazy time. And their kind of fulfillment and operation was basically imploding. They had 3 months of returns backed up in Gaylords. It was a mess. And so they brought me in to help kind of manage the fire and just like, all right, we pulled everything out of there, like kind of mom and pop 3PL, put it in. Actually, I spent a lot of time in Columbus where you're at during that time. I think I was in Columbus for 11 weeks straight. I would fly from Austin to Columbus every Monday, and I would fly back on Thursday or Friday every single week for 11 weeks to like
the nonstop direct front on Southwest.
It was great, dude. It was great. It was weird. It was during COVID, so it was like those planes were empty and like it was weird. But yeah, I learned a lot through that. Like, I that was my second MBA, honestly, of just like for supply chain and logistics, running through, figuring all that all out during COVID. And then got to the end of 2022. And I was fortunate enough, Chubbies was sold to Solo Brands. We all made a little bit of cash. I took some of that cash and then bought this brand called La Matera with it. And I knew at the end of 2022, I was wanting to kind of depart and do my own thing. And got the team straight at Tuckernuck. First week of March, I departed, and I thought I was going to take a month off or something like that. And 2 weeks later, La Matera popped up on a business brokerage site. It's called quietlight.com. And I was like, yeah, this I'm going to go at this. I remember the day it just came through. I was looking at all types of deals, and all of them weren't that great, but this one came through and I was like, yeah, this is a no-brainer. I'm going at it.
Yeah, and I'm super excited to ask you some. They're not going to be hard questions. It's your life. You just have to answer. But I think that we often highlight on this show people that have built a brand from nothing, right? There's other ways to get into this industry. You could buy a business that exists, right? So like you said, you saw this opportunity and you said, I have to go after this. What were some of those reasons?
Yeah. Well, to start, whenever I was looking, like we had looked at a phone case company. We had looked at a bunch of random kind of like all kinds of companies. But whenever this one popped up, we sold it at Tucker. We sold these belts at Tuckernuck. I was familiar with the brand before. They randomly followed me on Instagram. Like it was all these personal kind of like arrows pointing towards the brand. And then whenever I started getting in, there was just some clear low hanging fruit that I could come in and make a real difference, and keep propelling the brand. So the brand was already profitable. It was in a good spot. It had a really good supply chain and all that. I think the low hanging fruit was, there were certainly marketing efficiencies that could have been made, and were made. There were, a lot of margin opportunities, like just making sure the cost of these goods and getting the right partners in place to continue on and be able to scale the company. And then there was just like a little bit of, it's kind of like a little bit of brand soul. Being at Chubbies, I was just like indoctrinated with having this like soul of a company. I just saw there was some untapped potential on the brand side of La Matera, that it could have been invested in a little bit heavier. And so those were the like three things that I really pointed out. And while I was in there doing due diligence, I was like, why hasn't this guy just like done this? Like it's like very obvious that these like this is low hanging fruit that should have been done. And then, once you get through the craziness of due diligence and acquire the company and all that kind of stuff, you kind of look back and you're like, oh, like the reason that was easy is because of my experience. And it took me 13 or 14 years of grinding to figure out that, those low hanging fruits and to see that very clearly,
I have been in business for nearly 20 years, and very few companies I have hired in that time have performed as well as Electric Eye. They have knowledgeable staff, and our project was delivered on time and on budget. Electric Eye has exceeded my expectations, and I look forward to working with them again. That is a direct quote from one of our clients at Electric Eye. Electric Eye is a Shopify Plus partner that has helped over 100 brands migrate, redesign, and optimize their stores since 2016. If you'd like to increase your conversion rate, average order value, and revenue per session, we are the true Shopify experts you've been looking for. Right now, we're offering a free diagnostic to qualified brands that reach out and mention the podcast. Visit electriceye.io today to schedule a call and send us a message. Find out why we have over 50 5-star reviews in the Shopify partner directory. Again, that's electriceye.io, electriceye.io. What if every customer could help grow your brand without you lifting a finger? Social Snowball is the platform that turns word of mouth into a real growth engine for Shopify and TikTok shops. Here's how it works. Every time someone buys from you, Social Snowball can automatically turn that customer into an affiliate, giving them a unique referral link or discount code instantly. They can share it wherever they're already posting. Instagram stories, TikTok videos, YouTube hauls, you name it. You'll be able to track every referral and influencer sale, send commission payouts in 2 clicks, block codes from leaking to coupon sites, automate influencer seeding and gifting, and let affiliates cash out using over 700 payout options. Plus, it works seamlessly with your existing tech stack and channels like Shopify, Klaviyo, PostScript, and your TikTok shop dashboard. The craziest part is they're basically giving away free money. You can launch your affiliate program for free, which shouldn't take longer than a day if you focus, and enjoy a 30-day trial before ever paying for the app. That's right. You can use this software to turn your customers into affiliates for 30 days for free. To take advantage of this offer, go to socialsnowball.io/honest. That's socialsnowball.io/honest. Again, that's socialsnowball.io/honest. Would $1,000 help your business? Portless is giving new customers $1,000 to reinvest back into their business just for getting started. Right now, you are probably paying tariffs on most items in your warehouse before you even make a sale. That means your cash is just sitting there, trapped in inventory that might not even get sold. Not exactly a recipe for growth, right? But what if we told you there's a smarter way? With Portless, you only pay tariffs when an order ships after you've been paid by your customers. That means free up more working capital instantly, turn inventory into cash faster, and completely eliminate the risk of paying tariffs on unsold stock. Here's how it works. Portless helps you ship directly from China to your customers' doorsteps in just 5 to 8 days. Yes, that's exactly what Shein and Temu do, and you can do it too. You get access to your inventory days after manufacturing, keep less stock on hand, and only pay duties on what actually sells. No more guessing games, no more cash flow nightmares, just smarter, faster scaling. And remember, all new Portless customers get $1,000 to reinvest back into their business. Schedule your free strategy call today. Visit portless.com/honest. That's portless.com/honest. One more time, that's portless.com/honest. So when you're exploring a company that you might want to purchase, are you keeping these ideas for growth to yourself?
I mean, kind of, yeah. Like, yeah, you don't want to play. I mean, I just look at all of this like one big game, right? Like, I'm not showing my competitors like my secrets for sure. So yeah, there was a little bit of that. It's just one big game whenever you're looking at these things for sure.
Yeah, I think that because at a certain point you are negotiating over the price, which breaks down a ton of different ways, and I really don't care about that part of the conversation. But if you are being vocal about the opportunity and it clicks to the seller, I think that could affect the price.
100%. Yeah. And so, yeah, there's a few cards that you're keeping. It's a balance, right? You're keeping some of your cards that you know will be like game changers for the company, but you also want to make sure that you're putting enough on the table that the seller like trusts you to be the new steward of the brand. Right.
Yeah.
And so
they
like,
don't want to sell to, someone that's just going to come in and cheapen it, something that they've spent years building.
Exactly right. So there's like it's kind of a push and pull type thing for sure.
And then also just like the way that you can politely talk shit about what's going on to lower the value as well.
Exactly. It's fun. I loved it. Like I personally, I love the process. I love it was wrangling cats. I mean, we went through and we put a chunk of cash down, but we went through and purchased the rest of it with an SBA loan. Mm-hmm. And so that was another player in the mix of an already hard kind of problem that I enjoyed it. And luckily, like I said, I had departed Tuckernuck. So this acquisition was my full-time job. Like I just sat down every single day and I prided myself on answering every single email from a banker to a lawyer to the, SBA person, everything within 5 minutes. And so we got it done pretty quickly. And I think the deal was done in 3 months or something like that.
Yeah, that is pretty quick.
Which is pretty quick.
Now, talk to me more about that, using an SBA loan to purchase a business, because it's such an easy solution that I don't think a lot of people take advantage of. They're always just I don't have any money. It's the government will give you money.
Correct. Yeah. There is, I am such a big proponent of it. And it's, well, to start, what we went through is the 7A loan program through the SBA, and there has been some negative comments lately over the SBA because the PPP loan and the bad actors in there and all that kind of stuff, and it's just two different lanes. It's a completely different thing. So yeah, there are bad actors in PPP. That doesn't mean the SA or 7A program is wrong. 7A program is beautiful in my opinion. And the reason for it is what you have to go through to acquire a business through SBA is like a colonoscopy. They go through the business and make sure the business is worth what it is. They go through the people and all the partners. They go through everything to make sure, all right, is this situation worth investing in and like giving a loan against? And then you have the piece, like, which is a real thing. You have a PG or personal guarantee that's attached to it. And so from a loan standpoint, it is worth backing whenever all of these like boxes are checked, but it is a process. Like it takes, if you are working at it 40 hours a week, it will take you 3 months straight of like roller coaster ride to get this thing to the finish line. It is like, it's wild.
Yeah. But now you're buying a business,
Exactly.
And the reasons people buy businesses are all over the place. You either want a great job that you want, or you're looking to, scale that thing and sell it for life-changing amounts of money. It doesn't matter what your goals are, but this is one avenue of which you can take to do it. It takes work.
Yeah. And especially as a new business owner and like a first-time business owner, there's like no better. I think it's only like the US and Japan that have a similar like kind of program as this. There's no better like way to do it as a first-time business owner. Like those folks who don't have, $2 million of cash that they can just throw at, a deal like this. It's great.
Absolutely. And then it also helps you keep the cap table low. I don't know how your business is set up, but
yeah,
it allows you to own more.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. And so I'm extremely thankful. I think everybody should, like, if you're interested in buying a business as a first time business owner, buyer, purchaser, the SBA 7A program is worthwhile to look into.
Awesome. So you did your due diligence. Eventually everyone said yes, you buy this business, right? What happens at first week, first month, first 90 days? What are you changing or working on to add value and make this all worth it?
Yeah, I mean, it's you do a lot of this planning in the time that before the keys are like change hands. Like you're sitting there in the off time and you're like, all right, what's our plan here? Like, what are we going to do with this thing? And so really it's wild. It's just like, it was kind of a weird kind of like out of body experience. Like you just change over your bank accounts one day and like you get the keys to the car and it's just yours. And you're like, all right, what the hell do I do now? It's just like, it's kind of a funny thing. So we went in right away. We had our 3 things that we were going to do. I was going to inject my, production and factory contacts into the business, which I had already warmed up before. So I was lucky enough at all these previous companies to have like really strong, supply chain and production contacts all over the world. And so I injected those folks in there and really started working on that gross margin like day one. We focus on gross margin a lot. Obviously, that's how we all get paid. But we do not skimp on quality. And so I knew it was going to be a long game with some of these like production folks and factories of like, hey, I am uber patient with this thing. And so it took us with my one of my main factories that we use a lot at Chubbies. It took us a full year to get the first PO delivered because the like development of our belt and the high quality standard that I had was just like, I was not going to skimp on it. And so that was the thing that was like out the gate was going to be the longest process of like getting to the finish line. So I knew we had to do that immediately. Next was just marketing efficiencies. And that was a little bit easier to kind of go out immediately. I had some buddies of mine from Chubbies that like were doing that. I think they were doing their own little like agency or something like that. So I just brought them in and like plugged them in. Like my specialty is not marketing. And so like I just plugged in people that were like, that was their specialty. And I was lucky enough to have the Rolodex that came along with my experience. And so that was certainly number 2. And then going to that kind of brand soul, number 3, like I mostly just injected myself as the face and started doing like some of these behind the scenes emails started coming from me. Like it's pretty frustrating. It's like you do all of these like fancy photo shoots and video shoots and you spend thousands of dollars and do all this stuff. But every single time a video of me on my iPhone turned around and like talking about this new launch and just like, a 20 to 30 second banger of a video is going to perform well on ads every single time. It's like, and it does not make sense, but it is what it is. Like, and so there's a lot of that now that I just like, I do. And I don't necessarily feel super comfortable on video whenever I do those things. So whenever I have to do them, I don't know, I'll film a video probably like 20 times to say the same thing. But every single, inevitably it's going to hit on like Meta ads and Google ads. It's just a fact.
Well, first of all, people like to buy from people, and that's why it works, and that's, I think, maybe an opportunity that you saw in the business. Was it, I hate to use the term like faceless brand, but was there not much of like a...
No, the former owner was in there. I just took a page out of the Chubbies book and just leaned in hard. Mm-hmm. And so like I would like the former owner was playing around with that quite a bit. So I don't want to like discount what he did. He built a strong like a strong brand that, I mean, that's the reason I bought it.
Yeah.
But that I just went in a whole lot harder. And it was tied to that, like, one of those things we learned in the early days at Chubbies for sure.
Yeah. And a lot of what you mentioned about like things that were going to help make this investment worthwhile were things that you learned from Chubbies and your previous jobs. So one of the things I want to highlight at the end of this is for the folks listening, maybe starting a business right now and going out on your own isn't the best idea. Maybe go work for some of these awesome brands.
Yeah.
Get paid to learn all of this stuff for a couple of years. And then when the idea strikes or you find a perfect opportunity like JM here did, then maybe go out on your own.
Yeah, I could not agree more. Like, yeah, I am extremely lucky with those guys reaching out back in 2011, 2012 and bringing me on and having the trust to like bring me on. And then that has built this Rolodex that I have today that like, I have this group of brand or just like life advisors, honestly, that like I'm able to text or call or anything at any time that if I have a problem, like I can just go to these people immediately. And that is honestly my strongest asset that I'm bringing to everything that I do. 100%.
Awesome. Now, JM, we talked about a lot of stuff today. Is there anything I didn't ask you about that you think would resonate with our audience?
I think one thing that is interesting about this, like all this, like, and is just the hard part. Like this is it's a hard game. Like and like I said, it is a game that I enjoy. Like I'm a glutton for punishment, I guess, because I enjoy doing it. But you have to have some tenacity to get into this game. You have to have some tenacity to go the SBA route, to go buy a brand. You have to like just to be a business owner in general. You have to get ready because it's like it's not an easy game. Obviously there's huge wins, and you can pay yourself and the freedom is wonderful. Like I'll ping off here in a couple hours and just go pick up my daughter and hang out with her for the rest of the afternoon. Right. And so like, it's a hard game. So just like, this is not like a, easy sail. Whenever you jump into these things, just like get ready and make sure you're surrounding yourself with like great people that like keep pushing you and like that are smarter than you basically. But then I think, also on the personal side, just like, marry strong, I guess, like have a partner that is like willing to like take the punches with you and go on the roller coaster ride as well. It's just like, that is my wife is the best part of this whole situation. She is like what keeps me grounded. And anytime anything is like messed up, she's like, all right, like let's settle down. We'll figure this out. It's all good. Right. And so I think those are the two things. This is definitely hard. 100%. Cash is hard. Managing an inventory business. That is my main job, is just like staying alive basically. And then, yeah, as long as you have a good partner at home, like you'll be able to get through anything.
That's beautiful. I think that's one of the things, like what attracts young, I wouldn't even say entrepreneurs, like wantrepreneurs, is this like weird idea of like financial freedom that comes from an e-commerce business you can live on a beach and get a Ferrari. Like that's not it. And that's why I started this podcast.
Yeah.
Is because that's just smoke and mirrors, baby. They're trying to sell you a
Exactly
course.
right.
That's garbage.
Exactly.
It's more, it is hard work. It's showing up every day and it's getting all your emails done. It's doing what needs to be done.
Yep. I totally agree. So yeah, that's my thing. It's just like, it is it's not a walk in the park. At the end of the day, it's super fun.
Oh yeah.
Like I really enjoy it. So I recommend everybody just go do it. Even if you fail, whatever, it'll be fun.
Awesome. You talked about how much you enjoyed the brand even before you purchased it, and there's the quality of the products. If people want to go check out your products, where should they go? What should they do?
Yeah, they can go to lamatera.com. It's LAMATERA.com.
Awesome. JM, thank you so much for coming on the show.
We can't thank our guests enough for coming on the show and sharing their knowledge and journey with us. We've got a lot to think about and potentially add into our own businesses. You can find all the links in the show notes. You can subscribe to the newsletter at honestycommerce.co to get each episode delivered right into your inbox. If you're enjoying this content, consider leaving a review on iTunes. That really helps us out. Lastly, if you're a store owner looking for an amazing partner to help you get your Shopify store to the next level, reach out to Electric Eye at electriceye.io/connect. Until next time.